morning. Namaste. Let me begin. Well, Skoolz is an EdTech startup which is recognized by the Government of India, helping schools, training institutes, and trainers meet verified, genuinely interested parents. It helps parents in searching, exploring, comparing multiple institutes and scheduling appointments with the schools. We are actively encouraging learning and knowledge development. I'm terribly sorry, this is the smog and pollution in Delhi.
Even I'm struggling this morning, Nidhi.
It's terrible. My eyes are watering.
Yeah, allergies.
And many leaders from the education sector and other fields have participated, and our panelists have had a great opportunity to connect with our extensive parent community. Our very eminent speaker today is Jai Dhar Gupta ji. He's an environmental activist, entrepreneur, founding member of Citizens Movement, My Right to Breathe, and a Wharton graduate who's taken up this cause of clean air solutions at Nirvana Being. He began selling pollution masks last year or last to last year, and is campaigning actively in some of the planet's most toxic cities. So, Jai Dhar Gupta ji, very warm welcome. We see you very often on television, and I love the way you speak. Please tell us what led you to this, and tell us a little bit about your journey so that children can learn extensively from this webinar today. It is very important for every child to know what Gen X may be facing.
Sure. Thank you, Nidhi, and thank you, Skoolz, for having me here this morning. So, children, before I tell you about my story and how I became a cleaner activist, I want to know how many of you are breathing.
How lovely is this?
Is everybody breathing?
Yes, sir.
I hope you're breathing, because if you're not breathing, we have other problems. Okay, excellent. So, can you tell me how many liters of air do you breathe in a day? Does anybody know? So, our human body, it only needs three things, right? Food, water, and air. There's no fourth raw material. You only consume food, water, and air, right? Maybe 4 liters, right? Okay. How many liters of food do you consume in a day, approximately? Maybe 2-3 liters of food. Okay, so let's say food and water is 10 liters. Do you know how many liters of air you consume in a day? 12,000 liters. Okay, it's 12,000 liters. You take 24,000 breaths in a day, about half a liter of air consumed in every breath. Okay, that's about 12,000 liters. And if you're really, really active, and if you like to walk or run or do some kind of exercise, you're probably consuming more air than 12,000 liters. Okay. So I'm going to tell you that you are what you breathe. Okay. Now I come to my topic of air pollution, because I was like you. I had no idea that my body is what I breathe. This is back in 2012. I had just summited one of the peaks near Mount Everest. My next goal, it's called Chukungri. It's about 20,000 feet. I was no, you don't need to clap. It was my goal was to summit Mount Everest before I turned 50, and I was well on my path. In 2013, I was training to run the classic marathon in Greece. The marathon, if you don't know, is about a 42-kilometer race, and I had run. It was October 2013. I had run that morning. Maybe I had done about a 12 to 15 kilometer run that morning. And in the evening, I got very, very sick. Okay. I got very, very sick. I could hear a whistling sound in my chest. Okay. Like a pressure cooker whistle that was coming in from inside my chest. And that night I had to be rushed to the hospital. When I was brought to the hospital, they found that I had lost 40% lung function, and there was a collection of fluid in my lungs. Long story short, I realized that I was a victim of air pollution. Okay. What is air pollution? Does anybody know what PM 2.5 is? No. Okay. All right. So air pollution is basically something bad in the air, right? How do these bad things come in the air? And unfortunately, it's all due to man-made causes. What do we humans do to create pollution? I can't hear you. Little louder. What do we do to create pollution?
Somebody said garbage. Somebody said construction. I heard that. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything else? Morning? What?
Burning crackers. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. Burning crackers. Okay. What do we do every day? What do we do every day? We create pollution every day by doing vehicles. That's right. Vehicles, industry. We burn a lot of garbage. We burn a lot of waste. What else? We create energy also. We burn wood. A lot of poor people in our country don't have access to gas cylinders or pipe gas, so they burn wood. They burn cow dung. So every time you combust something, every time we drive in a car or we go in any form of transportation, there is some form of energy being used, right? Especially cars, and especially diesel cars. So the worst for me, what I've realized, if we eliminate diesel from our life, and if we eliminate single-serve plastic from our life, all of our plastic is also made from petroleum. It's made from oil. So if we eliminate single-serve plastic and we eliminate, diesel. So one diesel car has the emissions of 9 petrol cars. Okay. So I stopped driving. My last diesel car was disposed in 2013 when I discovered that I was a victim of air pollution. So I started searching for solutions. I started digging deep into, what the problem areas are. So in India, we have huge problems. Okay. Our biggest problem is poverty. Okay. Why poverty? Because a poor person does not have access to LPG gas cylinders. So they are going to burn wood. They're going to burn cow dung. They're going to burn whatever they can burn. We have people, really poor people around Delhi where I live, who will burn plastic, who will burn tires to stay warm or to light their chulas because they have to cook their food to eat. Okay. So, we have to solve these bigger problems. But you know what? Let me not bore you with solving bigger problems. Why don't you start by yourself? Okay. If you can walk, if you can bicycle, if you can use public transportation, if you can even turn off your lights after you leave the room, conserve energy in whatever way you can, because even after all this wind energy and solar energy and all these things that we're creating, 70% of our energy still comes from burning coal. Okay. And when we burn coal, we create tons and tons of air pollution, right? We live in a country where, according to the World Health Organization, 14 of the 20 worst air quality cities are in India. Let me tell you that 100 out of the top 100 worst air quality cities of the world are in India. We just don't know the rest of the cities because they don't even have monitoring stations. We don't have monitoring infrastructure in these cities. Okay.
Absolutely. As you said, Delhi is topping the list right now. So before we take this conversation further, and I ask you about the story across the world, as pollution is not something that is limited to India. Let me ask Prasad to play a video for the children.
Delhi and neighboring cities are blanketed by toxic air. The Air Quality Index, or the AQI, hit the severe category in Delhi and nearby cities of Gurgaon, Ghaziabad, Noida and Faridabad. In popular perception, the crisis is limited to the winter smog over the national capital, New Delhi, and is caused solely by errant farmers burning crop stubble in Punjab and in Haryana. Today on The Wire Explains, we break down the air pollution crisis. The national capital is among the 10 cities in India currently witnessing the highest pollution levels. The air quality of Delhi has improved from severe to very poor category, with the air quality index standing at 372. India has 480 million people, which is about 40% of its population, living in areas where pollution levels regularly exceed those found anywhere else in the world. Residents of North India may lose more than 9 years of their life expectancy, which is stated by a research which was done by the University of Chicago's Life Quality Index. According to the World Health Organization's 2021 air quality guidelines, human health is at risk if levels of PM 2.5 or particulate matter 2.5 microns or less in diameter exceed 15 per cubic meter. Similarly, the guidelines state that PM10 levels above 45 pose health risks. Currently, Delhi's PM 2.5 levels are close to 200, which is an extremely dangerous rate. To a large extent, air pollution in the cities, especially in the Indo-Gangetic plains, depends on what happens outside them. Despite the union government spending over 2,000 crore rupees to tackle stubble burning over the last 4 years, the issue continues to smother North India, leading to severe dips in air quality in Delhi NCR, Punjab and Haryana region. In the last 4 years, a total of over 1,000 crore rupees were given to the government of Punjab, out of which 235 crores were released in the financial year of 2021 and 2022. However, the field fires are far from over in the state.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that air pollution as a problem has multiple factors that contribute to it, and I think some of the big ticket and the big reasons why air pollution problems are a year-long problem and never necessarily get addressed either through regulations or an acknowledgement that these are the foremost issues. Issues such as construction, issues such as waste burning, issues such as power, emissions from thermal power plants. The kind of heavy traffic inflows that we have, the congestion, all of those things which are more on where the class bias is not on poor farmers, where the class bias has to where the gaze has to shift to the elite of a city, the elite populations that are causing that are contributing to these issues and do not want to be regulated. That becomes a huge area of concern which needs to be acknowledged and addressed rather than just putting the onus on stubble burning as a problem. And also, I think one of the important things is that even though stubble burning is a seasonal issue which leads to the spike in cities like Delhi or in northern India, it is not without recognizing that there is a cumulative effect of what the accumulation of pollution throughout the year. And even if this seasonal spike you cannot put the entire onus and responsibility on the seasonal spike and absolve yourself of the responsibility of what happens year long, especially on big, highly consumptive and highly contributing sectors like construction, waste burning, transportation, emissions from power plants, and all these factors.
Stubble burning causes the crisis, but it isn't all that is wrong. Other ambitious plans of the government, such as the National Clean Air Program, which was touted as an effort to tackle the problem, have not achieved the desired results. Launched in January 2019, the Clean Air Program is intended as an effort to tackle this problem. Under the plan, the Environment Ministry has released around rupees 375 crores to 114 out of a total 132 non-attainment cities, or cities where the air quality doesn't meet the national air quality standards. Separately,
so these were glimpses of what is actually happening. Jai Dhar ji, I would like to ask you. Unfortunately, my video has gone off, so I'll come on from my phone now. Meanwhile, you can answer this question. Is actually blaming farmers the answer? What are the other things that you feel the government needs to do? Because year after year, we are talking, we are blaming, and nothing is really happening.
So, it's really about finding solutions, right? So children, why we're talking about the farmers is because you're probably aware that we are largely an agri-based economy. Even still, about 50% of our population is involved, are farmers and are involved in agriculture. And what happens twice a year is that, farmers grow their crops, and the residue that is left on the land, they burn it, because our farmers don't have access to machinery, they don't have access to labor. They burn the agri residue, but this only happens twice a year. And our air pollution problem is a 365-day problem. The only time we have good air quality in our urban areas, I think most of you children are in Bangalore, is that right? Okay. So, the real question is, how do you measure air pollution? Okay. So let's say, let me tell you that the primary problem in our cities is smoke. Okay, smoke from combustion. I told you that air pollution, we are combusting something, we are burning something, right? We measure the smoke through particles in the air. Have all of you seen, when you burn a fire or over the fireplace, that black soot? You have fans in your home? Has anybody seen a ceiling fan, right? Have you seen that black layer that develops on the ceiling fan? Yeah. Okay. That's PM 2.5. That's called particulate matter. PM stands for particulate matter. Okay. Now, particulate matter is also broken up into PM 10 and PM 2.5. PM 10 means particulate matter that is less than 10 microns in size, and PM 2.5 means particulate matter that is smaller than 2.5 microns in size. Okay. So let me tell you, one strand of your hair, I have very little hair, but one strand of your hair is about 75 microns. Okay. So we are talking about particles that are 1/30th the width of your hair. All right. When we talk about PM 2.5. And why do we measure PM 2.5? We measure PM 2.5 because we have natural filters in our body. The hair inside our nose, our mucus and membrane here, it is unable to filter particles that are smaller than 2.5 microns in size. So when we breathe, these smoke particles that are black carbon nanoparticles that are extremely harmful for our human body escape the natural filters of our body and go into our lungs. Okay. And from our lungs through the alveoli, this poison, this toxin goes into our bloodstream. And through our bloodstream, it goes to our brain, it goes to our heart, it goes to all the vital organs in our body, except for the gastro system. This poison, this black carbon, travels everywhere. Okay, so the question you should be asking me is, what is the safe level of PM 2.5 in the air? The safe level of PM 2.5 in the air, according to the World Health Organization, is under 5 micrograms per cubic meter. I'm going to show you, okay. Can I share? Can you enable sharing on my screen?
Yes. Prasad, can you do that, please?
Okay, I'm just going to show you very simply, since all of you are in Bangalore. Currently, the PM 2.5 level where you children are breathing is 100. Can you see this? This is right now on Brigade Road in Bangalore. So this is 20 times the safe limit. And let me tell you, this is really good compared to Delhi. I mean, if I showed you the levels at Delhi, you'd be horrified. Let me kind of zoom in a bit and show you the rest of India. The more you go towards the north part of India, the worse it gets, because we have much colder air. Look at Bihar. The levels are crazy. Look at this. The PM level is 354. Where is this? Samanpura in Bihar. If I come to Delhi, which is somewhere here, where I'm sitting, and I think Nidhi is here as well.
Yeah.
Our levels today, and today's a good day in Delhi. Our PM levels are 267. Okay, the safe level is 5. This is crazy. We are actually killing ourselves through our own bad habits. Okay.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, that was really nice. Tell me, Jay, you've done actually a lot of work in using reusable, affordable, clean air wellness products at Nirvana. So you started this because of a lung problem, as you mentioned.
Yes.
But what led you on to do this, and what more can we do as citizens? Because everybody is just playing a blame game कि वो farmer हैं, वो जलाते हैं और इसीलिए NCR में होता है. Nobody is taking any action. I mean, the government also is not taking any action. And if it's taking away 9 years of our lives, I think even one day we have a right to live, all of us.
Yeah. So,
what is happening also in the world over to combat this?
Yes. So, let me answer that last one first, because that's a story of hope. Okay. So every country in the world that has a problem of poverty, that has a problem of literacy or the lack of literacy, and that has a problem where there is a lack of opportunity in rural environments. So everybody is running to the big cities has a severe air pollution problem. Okay. When ministers here in Delhi or the rest of India say, hey, ये तो pollution दिल्ली से नहीं है, बाहर से आ रहा है, इधर से आ रहा है, it doesn't matter.
या केजरीवाल ने किया है और अब पंजाब में भी उनका शासन है. What can one man do?
No, it doesn't matter. It's because it's a regional problem. See, air pollution में कोई boundaries नहीं है. I'll give you an example. Every year, in the month of October, November, first, the Afghanistan burns their paddy residue, the farmers, then Pakistan burns their paddy residue. So if the winds are moving, from the northwest, so सारा वो पाकिस्तान के farmers का धुआं यहाँ आता है. और November तक our farmers are burning up their paddy residue, and then if the winds are westerlies, they are moving towards Pakistan. Pakistan gets plundered in smoke. So, there are no boundaries. You can't build a wall to stop the air.
Similarly, if God forbid there is a nuclear thing, the same thing is going to happen.
The same thing is going to happen. Air pollution means anything bad in the air. So it can even be a pathogen like COVID. So COVID was a virus, that transferred through the air. So air pollution is a very broad subject. Of course, we cannot measure the air. We don't have any tool or monitoring device that can measure the virus level in the air, unfortunately. But we can measure PM 2.5. And, all of you children, you have access to computers. Yeah. So, on your phone, on your computer, look up PM 2.5. Look up what are the causes. And the reason I'm talking to you today is because, I had this whole goal of, going and running the classic marathon in Greece. I had this goal of summiting Mount Everest before I turned 50. I'm unable to meet those goals, and I don't want you not to meet your goals. So you need to become aware, and you need to become agents of change, and you need to do whatever you can to improve your quality of life. And that means leading by action, leading through, be a change agent. I mean, be a thought leader, set an example. So, very early on, when I became an activist, I used to point a finger at other people that you did not do this. And I very quickly realized that I cannot change other people. I can only change myself. So I stopped driving diesel cars. In fact, you guys are sitting in Bangalore, and one of my dear friends created the first electric car in 1997, the Reva. I don't know if you're familiar with the Reva.
Yes.
So the first Reva that was produced in India came to me. So I have been driving an electric car since 1997. Okay.
But what about charging stations? They're not plenty.
Ma'am, I have just come back yesterday after doing a 700-kilometer road trip through Uttarakhand. There are charging stations everywhere. Yes, it's an inconvenience to stop and charge for 20 minutes, but it's a small inconvenience. I love my electric vehicle. I'm driving it everywhere. If given a choice, I would still walk. But of course, I can't walk 700 kilometers.
No, and considering the distances in Delhi, we often tell children that you bicycle your way to school and ride, but it's not like Singapore. Our
No, it's not
country
practical.
does not have that kind of public transport system.
Yeah, we don't have the biking lanes. We don't have the pedestrian walkways. There are some serious infrastructure issues. But whenever you get an opportunity, bicycle, walk, even a small thing like when you go to a McDonald's or a Burger King, don't use that plastic straw. Because it's just, it's such a huge waste. You're going to use that plastic straw for like 5 minutes, and it's going to then take 1,000 years to biodegrade in a landfill and will most probably get burnt, and go up and
even cattle and cows are consuming all this. And
yes,
I don't know what is happening to them.
Yeah, I mean, even this whole plastic problem because of the packaging is such a big problem, not just in urban India, but wherever I go. I mean, there's more, there's more plastic in our rivers than water now. It's really unfortunate, and it's a really, really sad scene. And, all of you are young, and all of you need to be a part of driving change. And become conscious about your breath. You can't stop breathing, right? I just told you that the PM 2.5 level is 20 times where you're breathing. Instead of 5, it's 100. But you can't stop breathing. So we have to fix our air.
Also, Jai Dhar, you started a lot of awareness on saving trees. Perhaps you'd like to share that with the children. This felling trees and not paying attention to forest covers.
So any child in the room aware of climate change? You guys discuss climate change? No? Okay. So, are you aware that there is carbon dioxide in our air? What are the different things in our air? Is there oxygen in our air? There is oxygen in our air, right? What percentage of our air is oxygen? Does anybody know what percentage of our air is oxygen? 21%. Perfect. That's right. And about 78% of our air is nitrogen. And, the other 1% is like other gases, right? And in those other gases is a very important, gas called carbon dioxide. Why is carbon dioxide important?
Louder. We're giving special prizes for all the children answering. So I'll take the name from Uma ma'am about who said for oxygen percentage. Who answered just now? Can you be a little loud, please? Why is carbon dioxide important? We can't hear you, please. Louder.
Plants take up carbon dioxide for growing, like for respiration.
Yeah. Yes, if there was no, so yes, that's part one of the answer. All living things, there would be no life on this earth if we didn't have carbon dioxide. The heat from the sun is captured and retained in our atmosphere because of carbon dioxide. If there was no carbon dioxide in our air, our planet would be frozen and there would be no life on earth. And yes, as the young lady said, carbon dioxide is how plants and trees breathe. They consume carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen, right? So what is happening? What is climate change? Climate change is that because of our use of, we've upset the carbon cycle. What does that mean? We keep saying, climate change is we've upset the carbon cycle. We are burning more and more of fossil fuels and we are reducing our forest cover. Why are we reducing forest cover? Because we need more and more lands to be under cultivation, okay? To give us food, to feed us. So as you keep reducing the forest cover, all those trees that are, using this carbon dioxide are becoming less and less and less. So the amount of carbon dioxide on our planet is increasing. And when that amount of carbon dioxide increases, our climate is warming slowly and slowly because there is more carbon dioxide. It's retaining more and more heat from the sun. Our climate is heating slowly. And as our climate heats, our oceans are expanding. So all these low-lying islands, all the habitation and all the humans on these islands, their life and the way they live is also threatened. Okay. Also, agriculture is threatened. So the issue of climate change and the issue of air pollution are kind of intertwined. All right. They're both problems that are created by our extensive use of fossil fuels. So if we are increasing our consumption of fossil fuel, we need to increase our tree cover as well. So I'm involved, children, in a very interesting project in Uttarakhand where I'm creating a private man-made forest. Has anybody been to a tiger reserve? Has anybody seen a tiger in a forest? Some of you have. Okay. So this project is in a tiger reserve. Together with the Forest Ministry of Uttarakhand, we have surveyed. There's a beautiful tiger reserve in Uttarakhand called Rajaji, and we have surveyed all the trees of that forest that are endangered. And over the past 18 months, we've done a whole seed collection drive from those trees, whatever remain. We've germinated those seeds, created the plants, and we are planting a forest to revive all the endangered trees of Rajaji. According to me, you can't save the tiger unless you save the trees. There is no tiger that can, survive in a desert. All right. There is an entire ecosystem. It starts with the birds and the bees and the insects and goes up to the tiger. So basically forests are carbon sinks. As we create more carbon through vehicles or burning or industry, you need trees to for their photosynthesis to absorb more and more of this carbon. All right. Any questions?
You must follow sir on his movement, My Right to Breathe, with Deputy CM Manish Sisodia. He has put emergency kits comprising a basic puffer and a nebulizer. Tell us about My Right to Breathe and how did you finally convince the Delhi government?
Yeah, so...
Yes, please ask, Uma, I can hear you. Who's asking?
Meghana has a question, ma'am.
Please.
Yes, Meghana, go on.
Ma'am, you told that plants are the main solutions for air pollution, ma'am. But you told that it takes carbon dioxide and leaves oxygen. But it is a living being, no, ma'am. It takes at night times it takes oxygen and leaves carbon dioxide. But plants is not the solution for the air pollution, no, ma'am.
You're absolutely right. So plants are not a solution for air pollution, but plants are they regulate. They are a regulator for climate change, not for air pollution. Air pollution, because plants cannot help with PM 2.5. Our primary pollutant in India is PM 2.5, particulate matter under 2.5 microns. And that can only be regulated by reducing combustion, by shifting to cleaner methods. So, you're probably aware that slowly India's energy, we were completely reliant on thermal energy, which means burning coal for energy. Okay, all the electricity and fans that are operating above your head are all from burning coal. And slowly we are changing to wind and solar energy, right? So instead of burning something, we are going towards renewable energy, right? Or even hydroelectric, when we were using running water and capturing the energy of that running water and converting it to electricity. So you're absolutely right. I mean, trees are not a solution for air pollution, but trees are a solution to regulate climate change. Trees play a huge role in terms of creating a carbon sink. Trees, wood, leaves, they store a lot of carbon. That's why when we burn this wood to light our chulas or to create a nice bonfire, we are releasing all the stored carbon that is inside into the air. Okay. And that's, when we create PM 2.5, the smoke. PM 2.5 is essentially smoke.
Absolutely. And we need to look at recurring issues like burning biomass, vehicular pollution, industrial emissions, something like the Singapore model. Have you tried to put that across to the government, sir?
Okay, so the Singapore model is very simple. It's incentivizing good behavior and penalizing bad behavior. Okay, and it's not only the Singapore model; it's the model that is followed. So I don't know if London had a very, very bad smog problem. Paris These are all developed countries and developed cities, probably leading cities of the world that have dealt with this problem. And that's where the hope comes from, because they have reversed their air pollution. Okay.
So we also tried building a tower here in Delhi, something akin to that. What happened finally? We are still, a testimony to the fact that every citizen of Delhi, the NCR is undergoing this, is both you and I have running noses today, and
Yes.
our eyes are burning.
Yes.
Can you imagine the person who has no place to live? Children, just think about what is happening in our own country. A person who's living on the lanes, on the pathways, sleeping there. Can you imagine how much more pollution is going there? We still have air purifiers at home, and we are in this miserable state. You can see both of us.
Yeah. So Nidhi ma'am, there is that one smog tower that we built. So smog towers have only one purpose. Okay. It is a symbol of how bad the environmental conditions are in a city. Okay. Every city should have one, so that, it's a constant reminder that we cannot pursue our bad habits. Smog towers will not reduce the air pollution. I have done innumerable tests with different media in front of that smog tower. There is not even a 1% impact on air quality. It's a waste of taxpayer money. All right.
That means, what is the next step that the government must take, or the children must be sensitized to take?
We have to continue. We have to look at all the sources of pollution. Okay. So let's say vehicles. All right. Vehicles are a privilege. All right. They are not. We have to penalize bad behavior. So firstly, I have been talking about, stopping the sale of diesel vehicles in Delhi for the last 8 years.
Correct.
Right. We should have, very high taxes on diesel vehicles, passenger vehicles. There's no need for anybody in Delhi to be buying a diesel car today. There's plenty of options of petrol cars. And now, thankfully, there's plenty of options of electric cars as well. So,
Sir?
yes, go ahead.
Sir, you just told using electric vehicles, sir. Then
Yeah.
For using electric vehicles, we need a battery. But battery is a cause of pollution, sir. Instead of that, we can use buses, trains.
Absolutely. But even the buses need to be electric, because the buses currently are diesel, or in some of the big cities running on CNG. In Delhi, we recently adopted about 100 buses. Look, the best option is walking. The next best option is bicycling. The next best option is public transportation, whether it's a bus or it's the metro, or it's carpooling, sharing a vehicle. The worst option is people driving in a diesel vehicle. Okay. Diesel vehicles are absolutely, they're just toxic for our living environments. All right. And, unfortunately, all the government vehicles, especially the heavy vehicles, if you look at the PWD or you look at the water department, all the heavy vehicles of the government are all running on diesel, and they are all 20 to 30-year-old vehicles, and they create a lot of pollution. So all of those need to be revamped. You're absolutely right. I mean, we have to stop combustion, and public transportation is a lot more responsible and a cleaner approach than driving in a private vehicle.
And on that note, I'd like to thank you, Jai Dhar ji. You are indeed a rockstar personality who's here to spread awareness about how the young generation can make a difference in the world by taking various steps to prevent and minimize air pollution. On behalf of the CEO, Mr. Srinivas ji of Skoolz, I and the entire team, including Prasad, who's always there with us from the tech team. बहुत धन्यवाद आपका for joining us today. We look forward to having the children join us for our next session with the very famous Lovita J.R. Morang, who's done a wonderful job at the rhododendron forest in spreading awareness in the Northeast, and her film is going for the Oscars. And rhododendron is a plant that gives out oxygen. So Jai Dhar ji, will be of interest to you also. Thank you so much once again on behalf of Skoolz for joining us. You'll get your certificates from the United Nations. It's ASAP. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's a clap for you. That's a wonderful. Can we have that again, please? I'll capture this shot. Thank you, Uma.
Thank you,
Can we
ma'am.
have the children full screen?
Yeah. We have a problem with the camera.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So
No, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Great way to start my Sunday. Bye. Bye, everyone.